Changemakers, and welcome to The Core, sponsored by Red Apple Edco. This is your Everything Education podcast. We talk about current events, books to read. We interview education leaders, hear their stories, learn from their biggest lessons, and they share what they wish you knew about what it means to be in education today. I'm your host, Dr. Kia Turner. Buckle up for small seeds of inspiration that can lead to big changes in your classroom practice. Let's take a bite out of today's guest. Hi, you guys. It is Dr. Kia here in sunny, that's why we sat in the sun, California at the CapCUE Edcamp with Shea Smith, who is a tech-tosa, which means that he goes around and you show students and teachers different ways to make tech meaningful in their education practice.
Exactly.
We happen to be here because one of us traveled miles to come to CapCUE and definitely check out their Edcamp. So happy that you took time to sit down with us. Can you tell us how many years you've been in education?
This is my 13th year in education.
Veteran. I'm going to ask you, because I use the free screencast light, you all know me, the 5 questions I always ask any educator. And hopefully at the end, I'll have a bio and put it down there for blog readers to get in contact with you if they have any extra questions.
Great.
Okay. So first, why do you teach?
I enjoy seeing kids create and collaborate, and I just think it's such an amazing time right now with all the access to electronics that the students have.
I love that. Has that always been a passion of yours in education? Were you always sort of tech focused, or did you come by that later?
I was always tech focused because I got into teaching a little bit late in life. I worked at a .com
right
out of college. Okay. It was fun. It taught me a lot, but I really always had that passion to go into teaching.
So you were a career changer.
Career changer.
Okay. And are you happy you did it, never looked back?
Yeah. I had no regrets.
That is beautiful. Okay. Number 2, what's one thing you're doing in your classroom right now, or not even in your classroom because you're in several buildings, but in your practice that really excites you? Something you see going on, you're like, yes.
You know, that's a tough one, but I would say that right now I'm really excited about WeVideo and having students create their own content, their own videos, doing interviews like you're doing right here, making things like what we call book trailers. So it's like a movie trailer, but it's about a book they just read. It's really awesome, and the kids love it, and I'm blown away with some of the things they come up with.
Is there a free teacher version? You know I had to ask.
There is a free teacher version. There's a free trial version, but it's not terribly expensive. It's about $5 per student. But for the calendar year, it looks and feels a lot like iMovie, but it works really well on the Chromebooks.
Oh my gosh. And I'll put a link to that in the write-up that I do of Shea, so keep your eye out for that. Number 3, what's one resource that you think every educator should definitely know about no matter what?
I have to say CUE.
Tell us about CUE. I found out about CUE, on Twitter. Had no idea that this was a thing. So go ahead and tell us.
CUE is an amazing network of teachers, and not just tech teachers, but teachers that want to learn a little bit more about using technology in the classroom, whether that's podcasting, video, just simply using the Google Suite. There's so many amazing people that are willing to share and help.
So it's CUE, to say it back because that's how I learned. You all know me. So CUE allows me as a teacher to join an organization where I can get help from other teachers with tech stuff, basically.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to know how to podcast with my students, I could look up my local CUE chapter.
You could reach out to some other members of CUE, and if they're not using, like, for example, podcasts, if they're not doing it, they could quickly tell you, oh, you should talk to this person or that person, and they'll get you going. And it's really the community of sharing. It's shared knowledge, and I just think it's so powerful.
How has it been helpful to you then to be a member of CUE?
I have learned.
Shea is like, Kia, what are you doing? I'm like, I need to know. How's it been helpful?
I have learned so much from these other members, and just being able to find my tribe, find people like me and learn from them. It's been phenomenal the last few years that I've been a member.
And now I'm a member because membership is free through March, right?
Correct.
So through March, you can sign up at CapCUE.org and become a CUE member, and then you just select a chapter.
Correct.
And you join that chapter. So I live in Missouri, but I joined Capitol Hill.
CapCUE.
Yeah, I joined CapCUE because I just needed to know what was going on. Okay, and I had to take a flight out here just to keep myself abreast of all of these fabulous things that are happening. But hopefully there's one closer to you.
Absolutely.
Okay, number 4. What was your last aha moment as a professional?
I think the last aha moment I had is trying to get a new program implemented in our district, a new technology, actually, and realizing that there were a lot of layers to it. It wasn't just some bright, shiny new thing that I wanted to do with the kids, and realizing that, unfortunately, some of these tools are not compliant, like with CAPA, FERPA, SIPA, all the acronyms, right? And so really having to dig deep into those user agreements and terms and conditions to say, okay, can we use this with the kids, or what can we do, or what can't we do?
Okay. And then finally, in a few words, what do you think that every educator should know about education in California? Like, what do you want us to know if we're talking Northern California education landscape? What's the one thing you definitely want to put out there about it?
I would say that, in California, there's been a big push to use the Chromebooks in schools. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I think sometimes it gets seen as just one more thing or one more tool. And I think that's why I'm excited about CUE and events like this, the Edcamp, because it really shows teachers that there's a way to allow students to create and collaborate and really enhance the existing curriculum. The one thing I would say, to try to distill all that down, is... You're still fine. Look, we have up to 10 minutes. You keep going, honey. I would say just keep fighting the good fight and know that technology is just like any other tool. Mm-hmm, so, like Grandpa always said, don't blame your tools. Right? Learn how to use it the right way. So would you say then, to say it back, would you say that if we're thinking education in Northern California, then the questions sort of floating around would be, how do we take this tool that we have and use it more meaningfully and use it to kind of enhance our practice? You said it much more eloquently than I would totally agree with that. Okay. I think that that's a really good question to ask, and that's why you come to organizations like CUE. Absolutely. You're part of CapCUE. Well, you guys can find out how to reach out to Shea if you have questions for him and just want to, in general, know more about his awesomeness in the bio that I write for him over in the Educators You Should Know section of the blog. Thank you, Shea, for taking time to sit down. So nice meeting you. I'm a hugger. Yay. It's so nice to meet you, too. Okay. Thanks so much. All right, you guys, let me figure out where my mouse is. There we go. Bye, y'all. That's all we have for today. Thank you for listening to The Core. Wherever you are listening to us, be sure to like our show, subscribe, and share the episode that's meant the most to you. We appreciate every single one of our subscribers, as do our sponsors. We look forward to seeing you next week. You can also check us out on YouTube at Red Apple Edco if you'd like to see more video of these conversations. We have them posted there.